the number one reasons that a rabbit doesn't want to wear a harness. So they're ticklish under their armpits, just like we are. So we want to feel every place that harness is going to go. So we check for sensitivities and ticklish spots. So he's pretty good with that. Now we want to try to get him really relaxed, because this is supposed to be something that's enjoyable.
And he likes being like a little firm.
His back legs are still up. No, okay, not having that. Okay, so now what we're gonna do? Do you wanna do the massaging? And then what we're gonna do? I'm gonna get your harness while you give him a massage. And remember how I did that? We're gonna check for ticklish spots, and we're gonna check around the neck, and we're gonna try to get him really relaxed so he's enjoying this. So which one did you want there? He was thinking just black.
Or is it black or this? Why is it just What? Okay, then let's do this one. Come on, give me that. He doesn't know this part. This is like our carpet.
Well, it's good that dogs are not going on this carpet, so it's just not.
It's okay. Sometimes, like the things that I do, I don't know that I necessarily recommend it for everybody. If it's something that you feel comfortable with, I take my rabbits out when I run errands. From the time that they're little, I take them to the grocery store. You know, I leave them in the car. I mean, not in the summertime, obviously, yeah. But I'll go to the store. I'll go in, pick up the bread and the milk, and I come back out, and we go home. So we try to make the trips short, and then we make them a little bit longer. Home Depot. I don't recommend Petco and the places where you're going to have a lot of dogs. I mean, if you get to the point where your rabbit's used to dogs and things like that, I personally don't do the dog places. But like I'll take them to Home Depot and Lowe's, Hobby Lobby, Michael's. You can take them to Macy's. That's in the top 10 companies that are pet friendly.
Oh wow! I did not know that.
I go into Walmart. Nobody ever sees them. I don't go to the grocery section, and I'm really careful not to touch any clothing in case there are people who are allergic. I try to be as good as I can be.
Yeah.
I get nervous when I'm on video.
As mindful as you can be.
His heartbeat's going really fast.
Is it? Okay.
Now, when you take them, you have them fully decked out in their harness and leash?
I do put them on a harness and a leash. We have these handy dandy shopping cart hammocks that we put in the shopping cart. That way it keeps the cart clean, and it's the hole. Sometimes they want to go out through the holes. If it's your first time, you can take them out in a carrier. If you're nervous, but the more socialization that they get, like somebody coming up to your rabbit in the store and saying, "Oh my gosh, your rabbit's so cute," that's really helpful to your rabbit, because then they get used to other sounds, smells, people, and they become desensitized. And you'll see our rabbits, how friendly they are, and how calm they are.
Yeah.
So I think he's ready. Now, when we put a harness on. Let me go over the components of a harness. If you buy a harness someplace else, you can order them online on rabbithopping.com. But we want to make sure that the harness has 2 snaps and it has the D-ring in the back. If it has the D-ring in the middle, it's going to pull more on their neck, and I'll demonstrate that here in a second. Okay, so I have an idea of how big this should be. We always start at the back, because if your rabbit decides to jump off the table, gets scared or for any reason, you don't want it hanging from the neck. So we're going to fit the back so that it's 2 inches, not 2 inches, so you can put 2 fingers. So like your fingers are a little bit smaller, so it might be a little looser with those 2 fingers. You might want to put 2.5 in. Sometimes the little kids, you put 3 fingers in, and that's the. But it's basically it's 2 of my fingers, and we want to put it on the side, either side. We want to push it forward under the elbows and try it again. Okay, so that's pretty good. 2 fingers. Now the back is a science. It's a consistent measurement regardless of what the rabbit is. The neck is more of an art. So the neck we want to be as loose as possible without the rabbit being able to get out of it. And there's a couple tests that we do. Now each rabbit is different, and what we want to do is we want to pull the harness forward so that it hits solid on the chin. So we're pulling it forward. And the other thing that we do, some rabbits have short legs. So we go like this to see, is it possible I could get the rabbit's foot in there, but I'm going to have to really twist it around to do it. That would be a very freak accident for them to do that. But you don't want them getting their feet stuck in there. So if you see them hopping along and that foot, the toenail or something is hitting it, then you better tighten it up. But he can't, if he's chewing on it, it's too loose. Okay, now I wanted to demonstrate here. When I pull on the harness here, where is the pressure?
On the back.
It's on the back. It's under his belly. Now if this ring was here and I pulled here, where is it pulling?
On the neck.
Right. So you want a harness that has 2 snaps and that it has the D-ring in the back. And that is the best. And the D-ring is always in the back. I've seen some kids put it on the front because sometimes the smaller harnesses, you can't tell the difference, which is the front or the back, but it's the D-ring that goes in the back. So do you want to check it out and see what you think? And every time that you put the harness on, you want to check, especially if it's a young rabbit, you want to keep checking the harness and make sure that it still fits. Each time you put it on, you want to do the 2 fingers along here.
And is it still like, this seems a little loose, is it? Or no?
It is loose, yeah. Yeah, as long as he can't chew on it, and as long as he doesn't get his feet stuck. Like Netherland dwarfs tend to have really short legs, and they're more prone to getting their feet in. So the Netherland dwarf, you have to tighten it up a little bit more. So it would be more snug than this one is.
Okay.
I could loosen this up, but because we're in a public place and because there's a lot of dogs around, I don't want to do that. I think this is a good place for it to be.
Yeah.
So
How do you get him to listen to his name?
I don't know the answer to that. I mean, ours, I think what it is I think they know their name. They respond to it. You'll see their ears come up. But see? What's his name?
Bun Bun.
Hey, Bun Bun. He's not responding.
You could give him treats when you call his name. Do that whole thing.
So now before we put the leash on, we want to make sure that he's comfortable with this. If he were laying flat on the table, that's an indication that your harness is too tight. So he seems pretty comfortable. Now I want him to stop relaxing, and now he wants to relax. But I'd like to kind of watch and see if he hops around before we put the leash on. While we're waiting for that, if you could kind of watch him, we're going to go over a safety measure. There's things that I teach the kids. Well, actually, I teach everybody. Because we're in a public place and there are a lot of dogs around, one of the things that you need to know is how to pick your rabbit up as quickly as possible. A lot of times people will go like this, and while they're doing that, the rabbit's getting away. In the meantime, and I always use the Jack Russells. It's okay. It's okay. I want him to be engaged. Now, I have to tell you, this does have a lifetime guarantee. If your rabbit chews it up, you call the number that's on here, and they will send you a brand new one.
What?
Yeah, you'll
Tag?
get
Yeah, I'll
no,
see
you'll
it.
get
We'll
the
see
tag. I have to take the inventory off. Okay, so what I'm going to do while we're trying to let him, I want him to feel comfortable. And your day today is going to be paced according to how quickly your rabbit acclimates. There'll be things that I'll teach you guys that a little bit later I'll be teaching you something else. As you progress, then you'll get more things. But their whole day is based on how quickly he adjusts. Which one of you is going to be handling first? Okay. If you can watch him, I'm going to show your sister. Yeah, I'm going to show your sister. I'm going to come out here. Is we want to be able to quickly get down to the rabbit. Okay, so we're holding the leash so it's tight like this. And we want to be able to get down to the rabbit as quickly as possible. What I have the people do is I have you hold one side solid and then the other side is loose. So what we're going to do is we're going to bend down and we're going to touch our toe because that's where we're going to be picking the rabbit up from. We're going to shorten it up for a little bit for the rabbit's height, and this is how we're going to hold it. Now, let's pretend that over there is a vicious Jack Russell Terrier that's coming after your bunny. I'm trying to think of the rabbit predators of the dog world. So, all right, here comes the dog. So we're standing and we see the dog and we get in our defensive stance because he could go the other direction, but he decides not to. So we want to go down. We want to put our 2 fingers in the harness like this. Come down, pick him up. You're not going to pick him up by the harness, but you're going to put your 2 fingers in, and then you're going to scoop him up. I'm going to show you that part. This is important too because if your rabbit freaks out because he's on the leash, you want to be able to do this quickly. So I'm going to do it the first time, just so that if your rabbit does freak out, I'm right there.
I don't think he's gonna jump over us.
Maybe he gave him food before he
Alright.
Olivia,
So,
maybe
what we're
he
gonna
gave
do-
him food before he exercises.
We're gonna stand like this. Here comes the the big mean dog. We're gonna go down like this. We're gonna put our hand here. When we have him secure, we're gonna put our hand over top of his ears. Now this is something that I do because I don't have enough hands, but I put my chin on his head, on his ears. Rabbits are prey animals, and when they're picked up by a wild animal, they're going to calm down. So if your rabbit ever gets spooked, you want to make sure that you put your hand on their ears. And I'm not pushing down hard. It's just enough that he knows that he's secure. And this is for him. This is to make him feel secure. So as that mean dog is coming after you, you have your rabbit under control and you can deal with whatever the issue is, the dog or whatever. So we're going to have you do it. And every time I put him down, oops, I'm going to keep my hands on him. So here you go. Step forward. Okay. Like this. So you're going to give him some leash to kind of explore. Okay. Now here comes, turn around so that you're facing him so that you're ready to take him over this way a little bit. Okay, mean dog. Put your fingers there. You want to get him under control. Okay, but you don't want to lift him by the harness because that's just mean. You'll have to practice it a little bit. So let's try it one more time. Now look what happened. His harness is all of a sudden really loose. Sometimes when you put them on, it's either too far back or they're like horses sometimes and they'll puff their gut up. You ever try to saddle a horse or heard somebody saddle a horse and they puff their gut up and when you go to get on it, the saddle goes through? Well, that's kind of what happened here. So we're going to take it back. Can I just take this off? Can I just take this off? No. Do you know why?
Oh, I thought you.
Okay.
And then it's around the neck.
Then it's just around the neck. So we want to take it off the back first, and then we want to take it off the neck first, and then take the back off. Do you mind taking the dog someplace else? Okay, so we're basically starting our fitting session all over. Now this seems a little bit tight.
Yeah. It's a pinner. It's a.
Oh, not. We're doing a training thing. When we get done with the training, you can pet one. All right. So this seems a little tight to me, but we're gonna put him back down on the floor, and we're gonna see if that loosens up again. I still have 2 fingers in here, but it's a little tighter. It feels tighter to me than what I want it to be. Is this a mini Rex or a?
It's the door.
Okay. I'm just not quite. Now, as long as I don't take the harness off, I can still adjust it. Okay. All right. So let's go back over and try this again. Now we want to. Oh, you don't like that. All right. So let's try it again. Bad dog.
It's a bad dog. This will only get better,
But you still want to. Let me show you.
Well, not on the head, on the ear.
No, she had it on the head. All right, we're going to do this again. All right, now this time I'm going to do it. Tell me, bad dog.
Bad dog.
I'm going to go down. I'm going to put my fingers here. I'm going to reach under here, and he seems like he likes being picked up like this more so. In the meantime, I'm picking him up and going like this. So we'll do it in slow motion. By having my finger in the harness, I have him under control because he might be afraid. But it's more important for me to get scratched than for something to happen to him. So I'm going to cuddle him and keep him calm. So we're going to do it again. I'm going to do it one more time because it's a lot to... So, right.
Bad dog.
Okay. Fingers under here. Picking him up and putting him under my chin. He's not comfortable with this. He's got his claws like this. All right.
Like the first week I had him, I had scratches all over my letter.
But the thing that we always teach people is you put your hand on their head when you pick them up. I need to pick them up this way. Your turn.
Mom, I found kids. In a minute. And then some in a minute.
Okay. Step a little closer. Okay, because you want to be as close as you can be. Okay. Ready? Bad dog. Stop. You just let him get away. All right, let's do this again. How do you do it? They don't like to have, they're prey animals, so they don't like to have predators behind them. So when you step back, you're using their natural instincts to encourage them to go forward.
Yeah, this is behind them, right?
So you always want to be behind them. Yeah, it's not like a dog where you pull them in from the front. You always stand behind them. You always let them take the lead.
I can't go.
What kind of are they locked?
Yeah, these two are Hollands. The one I had out just a second ago is a Holland. This one's an Angora, and he's not trained yet. We keep our rabbits in what we call quarantine for 30 days. We don't let them go around our other rabbits. So now he's out of quarantine and he's ready to get trained. Did you see this bunny? She was on. She was in the newspaper. She was on the front. Yeah, she was on the front cover.
Wow. Daily News, was that the one?
The Newsday.
It's amazing.
The full cover.
When was that?
Thursday.
Oh, it was just recently. That's so cool.
Make sure that they're tight enough. Yeah. How beautiful. also gives hugs. So what do we do if we're running along and we get ahead of the rabbit? We quickly. What do? We quickly.
Go behind.
That's right. And then after we go behind them, then we take a step forward. We're talking about our rabbits use foot cues and verbal cues. And what we do is if we're running along, sometimes they'll stop. And when they stop, we have to step back behind them. So you want to do that quickly. And just as quick as you're stepping back, they're stepping forward. If you're back behind